Have you ever thought about doing the Camino de Santiago from the south of Spain? Well, you're in luck because today it is day one on the Via de la Plata, the legendary Camino that starts in Sevilla, going through Andalusia, Extremadura, Castilla y León, and finally Galicia. A journey of 1,000 kilometers. By the way, my name is Efren Gonzalez, your travel adventure vlogger and Camino guide. I have done most, if not all, of the Caminos here in Spain. Actually, this is the only one that I'm missing. I was gonna do it in 2021, but you guys recommended that I do instead the Via Podiensis from Le Puy-en-Velay to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port. A journey that I highly recommend you check out after you finish this series, of course. Today it is day one. We got great weather. I spent a couple of days here in Sevilla exploring the town. Gives you a chance to unwind, adjust your internal clock, enjoy this beautiful city before we head out into the plains. This is a different Camino. This is not the Camino Frances. There's more solitude, less pilgrims, but I'm sure it's gonna be a great one. And by the way, this is not the only Camino that I will be doing, because after I finish the Via de la Plata, I'm gonna head over to France and do the Chemin d'Arles, another 1,000 kilometer pilgrimage that's gonna start in the city of Arles and make its way up to Puente la Reina, connecting with the Camino Aragonés. Cannot believe that I'm saying this, but let's get day one started. Let's do it. I have been walking for about an hour. Check out this horse. Just leaving the city center, behind the historic city center. And what can I say? An incredible morning already. Not only do they have a lot of arrows, but you can see the first scallop shell right across from the cathedral, this official starting point of the Via de la Plata. And today it is February 29, 2024, a leap day on a leap year. It is 7 degrees Celsius, so that's about 49 Fahrenheit. So it is a cold, crisp morning with clear blue skies, the perfect temperature to walk, especially on the Via de la Plata, because this one is so notorious for being so hot in the summer times. It would be suicidal to attempt to do it because you have temperatures ranging in the 40s, that's above 100 Fahrenheit. And you know, what can I say? Another great trip in store for me. And what should we talk about today? We got so much to talk about. We can start with the travel days, of course. Let's do that. But before that, just want to show you guys here, after you cross the second bridge, you have an option. You can follow the official Camino, which will take you through the suburbs and the industrial area, or you can follow this track that goes right next to the river. This is something else, right? Yes, better than walking in the suburbs and the industrial section. So yeah, let's talk about the travel day. I took the overnight flight that I always take out of Miami, the one that leaves at 10 o'clock, 10:05, 10:30, around that time. It's a 9-hour direct flight to Madrid. Then in Madrid, I spent about 3 hours waiting for my connecting flight to Sevilla. From the airport in Sevilla, I had two choices to get to the city center. One was taking an expensive taxi or taking a €4 bus, which I decided to do. And unfortunately for me, halfway to the city, the bus broke down, and then every single bus that came behind it came full from the airport. So I just took an Uber to the city center, where I stay at a hotel right across the street from the cathedral, from the main entrance. I spent 3 nights there. The first day, it was my tourist day, where I got to visit all the city's major landmarks. I visited the Torre del Oro, right next to the river. They had a replica there of an old Spanish ship. I think now it's just for tourists. Then I went to the Plaza de España, one of the most beautiful Plazas de España that I've seen, if not the most beautiful one here in Spain. gorgeous. While I was there, I found out that they shot a scene from The Phantom Menace there, and it was pretty cool. After Plaza de España, I had a 12 o'clock appointment, a tour of the Alcazar, which was an incredible tour, about 2 hours walking there in the palace with all the other tourists jam-packed in there. Visited the gardens where they shot scenes for Game of Thrones, and then from there I went to get my credencial, the pilgrim passport. You have 3 places where you can pick it up here in Sevilla. The closest one to the cathedral is the building right next door. The library there, you go in, it only costs €2 to get it, and then you can get your first stamp at the cathedral. You can also get it from La Asociación de los Amigos del Camino, which is by the river on the way out of town. And I think you can also pick it up at a hostel near that place. Yesterday, I went to the cathedral to do the tour inside, where you get to see the resting places of Cristobal Colón or Christopher Columbus in there. What a gorgeous cathedral. Huge, huge, huge. Incredible. You should spend a few hours in there visiting all the little chapels and just taking in the atmosphere. By the way, yesterday I had a surprise. If you guys remember this guy from the Camino del Norte, Noé, came to visit me. He lives in Malaga, so he took a 3-hour train here. We spent the whole day just walking around, talking. He really wants to do this Camino, so who knows, maybe he'll join me down the line. That would be incredible. That would be the Camino del Norte 2.0. I know that you guys loved him so much. It was so much fun, and if he's able to join me, it will make this trip that much better. What else can I say? Oh yes, I met a subscriber, Fernando and his wife. They were here and they invited me for a cup of vino tinto, and we just spent an hour there just talking, reminiscing. He was like 2 days behind me on the Via Francigena, so that was incredible. Still walking by the river, and it's starting to warm up. Look where I am, agricultural fields. The first week on any of my caminos is always the hardest. It is where I make the most mistakes, where I'm bumping into the walls. And in order to prevent some of that, if you guys remember when I went to Japan last year, my SIM card on my phone got locked because I didn't know the password. And I couldn't use my phone for like the first 2 weeks of the Shikoku Henro, which was a catastrophe. And in order to prevent that, just the day before I flew here, I called T-Mobile and I asked them to give me the codes for the SIM card. They gave me 3 different ones, they didn't work. I got locked out of the phone again, so I had to go to a physical store where they gave me a new SIM card, and I found out that the default password is 1234 or 1111 or 0000. One of those should work, and as soon as you get access to it, change the code immediately to one that you can remember so that you don't have an issue with the SIM card ever again. I'm using Olafly for the second time. I usually, when I get here to Europe, I use the orange plan, but this one is much better. It's 99 euros for 90 days, unlimited data and calls. You get an Austrian number, and it works now. I've had quite a few other issues already, but I will explain those throughout the day. it is at the monastery of San Isidro where I find my first reality check. Yes, this is gonna be a very long trip and I'm looking forward to it. It is 11 in the morning, so I think it's time for a mid-morning snack or maybe even lunch, because once I leave the ruins behind, it's just open fields until the next town. "11:30 in the morning, making my way through the town, I found an open bar. I decided, let's go in, have a bite to eat, because I was already warned by all the pilgrims that on the Via de la Plata, I have to eat early and I have to eat whenever it's available. The owner told me that instead of following the road, to take a detour through town and visit a Roman theater, which I can see already up ahead, just before the ruins of the amphitheater in Italica. A highlight of the day for sure. Let's visit this theater right now. Well. After walking for 14 kilometers, I finally make it to the city's edge. Let me take this off right now so I can speak to you. And here it is, the plains of La Meseta. Well, not really, that Meseta is actually up ahead. What a great place there, those ruins, the amphitheater. Oh my God, incredible shots over there. I have to say today, it hasn't disappointed, not at all. Not like yesterday. Yesterday I had the biggest scare that I've had in a while now. Okay. This is what happened. My second blunder was my hard drives. Since 2021, I started using the Samsung T5 and then T7 solid state drives. I could connect those to my phone, to my Samsung phone, transfer all the footage super fast. It is a solid state drive, no issues whatsoever. But since I'm gonna be gone for 3 months, I decided I need more storage space just as a backup. And I decided to switch over to the SanDisk. They're 4 terabytes each, so I have a total of 8 terabytes, which is probably more than I actually need out here. And yesterday morning when I woke up, I decided, let me transfer all the footage of all the places that I shot here in Sevilla, just put it on the hard drive so that I don't have a lot of footage to transfer at the last day, and also to check it out a little bit. And I was starting to get all kinds of errors. As I was copying the files, it would drop off, it would eject the hard drive, it would tell me you couldn't recognize it. So I started freaking out because I'm about to enter the plains, as there's really nothing until kind of like the halfway point. So I started looking for a place to buy some hard drives. I found a couple of stores, like camera stores. But yesterday, February 28th, is Andalusia Day, so it's a holiday and everything was closed. So I had a plan B, which was for tomorrow morning to get on a taxi, head over to one of the stores that open at 8 o'clock, buy the hard drives, come back, then ship this ones home. But there was a miracle yesterday, you might say. As I was trying everything, while I was having dinner, I took a knife and I started digging at the charger on my phone, and I started finding lint coming out. And all of a sudden, the cable will snap right on. I was able to transfer the footage, and man, what a disaster did I averted. And that was gonna be a big one. So, that goes to show you that you need a few days to get here, shed your old skin behind, figuratively, and get into the pilgrim ritual, the pilgrim state of mind. And I literally brought extra clothes. I brought 4 sets of clothes, like my oldest t-shirts, my oldest socks with holes in them, just so that I could leave them behind here, so that I could spend like those 3 days as a tourist and not have to touch my hiking gear, which today I'm starting with it nice, fresh, and good. All right, enough talking. Let's head over into the plains for the second half of today's stage. What do you think about this setup, right? Yeah, I look like Suleiman, but it covers my face. I used it on the Camino Frances last May, and it was just great. is warming up. It's actually like 70 degrees, but the sun is hitting so intensely that I'm glad that I have this, and I also have my umbrella. Once again, two options here. We can follow the straight line, or we can take this alternative over here. But in this case, I'm gonna go straight because I wanna see the stream and the tower that's up ahead. Let's go. Change of plans, I decided to follow the alternative, which I think has already become the official because I saw all the yellow arrows pointing in that direction. And then after that, I saw a cyclist just pass by. And the other one, I seen quite a few cyclists on today's stage. I don't know if they're pilgrims or not. I saw them at the monastery, then at the bar, then by the theater, and then on the road, going both ways. So it could be bicigrinos or it could just be regular bikers enjoying the countryside. Well, look at this, the ever expanding field. What do I have here? Like an hacienda, and then there's a guy working over there in the fields. Oh man, I got a call tomorrow's accommodation, which is gonna be the municipal albergue. I wanna make sure that they're open, that they're taking pilgrims, and that I don't have any surprises in store for me. Today's accommodation, I booked it by phone. It's a pension or a private albergue. And then I knew that there were going to be a few days of just the municipals, but I wanted to secure something just in case things were going haywire. Kind of like right now. So yeah, let's just follow the straight line to the next town. The halfway point already behind me, and the afternoon is just warming up. There's a cold breeze. I feel like I'm a weatherman here, just talking about the weather all the time. And yeah. So I've been seeing more pilgrims. I thought this was gonna be like a solitary experience, but no, I think I'm in the bubble, in the main season. I already seen 4 pilgrims. That's more than I thought I was gonna see. There are plenty of spaces to stay along the way. Almost in every town there's an accommodation. It's just that to plan the stages is a little bit tricky. There are so many sections where there's only one town that's either 15 kilometers away or 35 kilometers away, and those are your options. I kind of pre-planned the entire trip already since I had to be here exactly 89 days. I made all my stages as comfortable as possible, especially at the beginning, but there's still gonna be a few days where I'm walking 34, 35 kilometers. All the days it might just be 14. So in the end, it will balance itself out. Gotta bring extra water on this trip because, for example, in those stages where there's nothing in between the towns, you have to bring water and food, and it's gonna be a different experience. And that's kind of like what I love about the Caminos, that every Camino has its charm, his ups, his downs, but in the end, they're all memorable. So let's start enjoying the Via de la Plata on day 1. So what was the third blunder, I hear you asking? Well, you're not gonna believe this, but as soon as I said goodbye to Noé and I started walking through the streets, I made it to the first bridge. I was getting this shot, and somehow I dropped my microphone, which is right here, the DJI Mic version 2, just like I did on the Appalachian Trail. When was it? By that lake just before the Smoky Mountains. That's right. Luckily for me, I found out about it before I made it to the other side of the river, and I rushed back and it was just there waiting for me. Let us hope that this is the end of it, that I have paid my due and I can enter the new world of the Via de la Plata. And right now I'm 3 kilometers away from town. And yeah, can't wait to get there, settled in, do laundry because I only have 3 sets of clothes, meaning I have to do laundry every day. And the sunsets here now in Spain are around 7:30. Sunrise was at 8 o'clock this morning, so the days are shorter. They're gonna start to get longer as we get closer to the summertime, but I had to take advantage of it while I have it. Will there be laundry machines along the way? I'm sure. We'll figure it out. I called the municipal albergue for tomorrow, and I just got the number for the municipality. So there was a menu there. I couldn't find anything about the albergue, so I'm sure it's gonna be open when I make it to today's destination. I'm gonna ask the owner to, maybe he or she knows if it's open, and if not, maybe she has the number and I can give it a call. I'm not worried about it. I'm pretty sure that it will be because, the season already started. All right, let's go. We're almost there. There you have it. After walking for 24 kilometers, made it to the town of Guillena, where I'm gonna be staying today. Somehow I feel welcome. It is 3 p.m. and I'm right next to this very busy road just for a little bit as I make it to the albergue, which is at the entrance of town. It's not even by the city center. So let's head over there, fall back on the routine, do laundry, you name it. Here we are at the rooftop of the albergue. My clothes are getting dry after taking a shower, doing laundry right here by hand, falling back into the routine. This albergue is just jam-packed full of pilgrims. There's like 11 people here right now. And the lady told me when I was checking in that tomorrow there's a group of French pilgrims. That's 28 pilgrims in total. So I don't know why people say the Via de la Plata is a desolate Camino. It seems like it's starting to become popular. Also, most of the pilgrims that I've talked to have already done a previous Camino. Most of them have done the Camino Frances. So this is more for like the experienced pilgrims that are looking for something different. There's a bar here in town that's not far away called Camino Frances, and they have a pilgrim menu for like €8, and I think that's what I will be having. What a beautiful day. Clouds are rolling in. There's a breeze. This is gonna dry super fast. And I don't know what else to say, but what a great way to start the trip. Oh yeah. Making my way through the town, on my way to the supermarket to buy some supplies for tomorrow, because tomorrow there's no support whatsoever on the stage, so better be prepared. On the way back, I'm gonna stop at the bar for the menú del día. Devour that meal. It's gonna be delicious, I can tell already. And so that then I head back to the albergue and I pick up my laundry. Do you think you got a chance to dry it up there in the terrace with the sun and the wind? I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Before I leave, I have to thank the troll angel of the day, of course, Karen Long. Thank you so much for your donation. You have given me the second highest one of all time, and those funds are gonna last me for a few days out here. So thank you so much, Karen, and I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early on stage 2 of the Via de la Plata.